"You're just not the image we're going for anymore," Melissa said, her French-tipped nails drumming against her MacBook. "This is a young, vibrant brand." I was 42. She was 29 and had been promoted to regional manager 3 months ago. "I see," I said. My phone sat face down on her desk between us. Voice memo app, running beneath the rose gold case. "Can you clarify what you mean by image?" She leaned back in her chair, the kind of power pose she'd probably learned from a TED Talk. "Look, Sarah, you've been great, really. But we need fresh energy, younger faces, someone who connects with our demographic." She smiled, all veneers and casual discrimination. "I'm sure you understand." I understood perfectly. "So this is about my age? It's about fit." She waved her hand, diamond bracelet catching the light. "You're just, at a different stage of life." Recording saved. April 15th, 2:47 p.m. Duration, 18 minutes. I smiled. "I'll need that in writing." Here's what Melissa didn't know. I'd started documenting everything 6 weeks earlier. It began the day she'd sent a company-wide Slack message about refreshing our team aesthetic. Within an hour, she'd scheduled one-on-ones with everyone over 35. I was the oldest person in our boutique by 7 years. The math wasn't complicated. That night, I'd called my sister Rachel, who worked in employment law. "Start a paper trail," she'd said immediately. "Document every interaction, record conversations. If your state allows one-party consent, it did. Keep copies of your performance reviews, sales numbers, everything that shows you're good at your job. And Sarah?" She paused. "Open a separate bank account." I'd opened it the next morning. My performance reviews were flawless. Literally, 5 stars across 12 quarters. I'd been the top seller in the region for the past 18 months, moving more inventory than anyone else in our district. I had the spreadsheets. I had the commission statements. I had emails from corporate praising my customer relationships and repeat business. I also had screenshots of Melissa's Instagram stories. "Cleaning house today. Out with the old." Posted the morning before she started her termination campaign. "Sometimes you have to make tough decisions for the brand." Posted 2 days before my firing. "Age is just a number, but energy is everything." Posted the week she hired her 23-year-old sorority sister. I'd archived everything. Every story, every post, every comment where she'd tagged our boutique's official account alongside captions about youthful vibes and Gen Z energy. The internet, it turns out, never forgets. Neither did I. "I'll need 2 weeks to transition," I said, standing up from her desk. Melissa shook her head. "We'd prefer you leave today. We'll pay out your PTO, of course." "Of course," I said. I picked up my phone. Still recording. And the reason for termination on my paperwork. We'll call it restructuring, not performance related. "Your performance was fine." She was already looking at her computer screen, dismissing me. "This is a business decision. Based on..." Her eyes flicked up, annoyed. "Based on what's best for the company." My age. I didn't say that. You said I wasn't the right image, and we needed younger faces. "I'm 42. That's age discrimination, Melissa." She laughed. Actually laughed. "Good luck proving that. You're in an at-will state, Sarah. I can fire you because I don't like your shoes." "You're right," I said. I headed toward the door, then turned back. "Just curious. How old is the person replacing me?" "That's not relevant. 23 though, right? Kenzie from your sorority." Her expression flickered. "We hired the best candidate, who happens to be 23, inexperienced, and your friend." "Got it." I smiled again. "I'll be out in an hour." Recording saved. April 15th, 3:04 p.m. Duration, 8 minutes. I'd already packed my desk the night before. Photos in a box. Personal supplies in my tote. I'd even cleaned out my locker, taking home the expensive hand cream and the emergency blazer I kept for client meetings. My coworker Jasmine watched me leave, her face sympathetic but unsurprised. "She's making a mistake," she whispered. "Probably," I said. What I didn't say, Jasmine was 36. She'd be next. I sent her a text from my car. "Document everything. Get a lawyer. Don't quit. Make them fire you. Trust me." She replied immediately. "What are you planning?" "Winning." Rachel connected me with her colleague Marcus, who specialized in employment discrimination. I walked into his office 3 days later with a binder. "This is thorough," he said, flipping through documentation I'd organized with color-coded tabs. "Very thorough. I'm detail-oriented. It's why I was good at my job." He reviewed the recordings, the screenshots, the performance reviews, my sales numbers, compared to Kenzie's complete lack of retail experience. The timeline of Melissa's promotion to her immediate targeting of older employees. She recorded herself committing age discrimination, Marcus said, almost impressed. "Multiple times." She wasn't very careful. "No." He leaned back. "She wasn't. How do you want to proceed?" "I want my job back. Back pay, damages. And I want it noted in her permanent file that she's a liability." I paused. "And I want her fired." Marcus smiled. "I can work with that." The demand letter arrived at corporate headquarters on May 2nd. Melissa called me the same day. I didn't answer. She called again and again. Then she texted, "Sarah, we need to talk. I think there's been a misunderstanding. Please call me. We can work this out. This isn't necessary. You're blowing this out of proportion." I replied once. "All communication should go through my attorney. His number is on the letterhead." She tried calling from different numbers. I blocked them all. Corporate called Marcus on May 4th. They wanted to settle. Quickly, quietly. The PR nightmare of an age discrimination lawsuit, complete with social media evidence and clear audio recordings, wasn't something they wanted in the news. "They're offering reinstatement and 50,000, Marcus told me. "No, Sarah." She fired Jasmine yesterday. I'd gotten the text that morning. Same script, same transparent lies, same age-based targeting. She's going to keep doing this until someone stops her. Marcus was quiet. "What do you want?" 150,000. Reinstatement for me and Jasmine. Melissa removed from any management position, and mandatory training for every manager in the company on age discrimination. That's aggressive. She earned it. He called back an hour later. They agreed to everything except the 150. "They'll do 125. Split between you and Jasmine. Deal." I started back at the boutique on June 1st. Melissa was gone. Not fired. Corporate was too smart for that, but relocated to a position in inventory management at the warehouse. No direct reports. No management authority, a lateral move that was really a demotion, the kind that makes people quit on their own. She lasted 3 weeks before she resigned. Kenzie, her sorority sister replacement, had been let go after 2 weeks of disastrous sales numbers and 3 customer complaints. Turns out, hiring your unqualified friends creates problems. The new regional manager was 47, professional, and very careful about documentation. Jasmine and I split the settlement, 62,000 each, after legal fees. She cried when the check arrived. "I thought I was too old," she said. "I thought I was worthless. You're 36, and you have 2 decades of experience. You're valuable." I squeezed her hand. "Don't let anyone tell you different." The boutique thrived. Turns out, having experienced salespeople who understood customer service and relationship building was good for business. My sales numbers climbed. Jasmine got promoted to assistant manager. I saw Melissa once. 3 months later, at a Whole Foods, she was in athleisure. No makeup. Looking tired in a way that expensive skincare couldn't fix. She saw me and froze, then turned her cart down another aisle. I almost felt sorry for her. Almost. I'd heard through mutual connections that she'd struggled to find another management position, that our company had given less than glowing references when asked about her management style and judgment, that she'd finally taken a sales associate job at a department store. Karma didn't need my help, but documentation did. 6 months after my reinstatement, corporate flew me to headquarters. They wanted me to help develop their new anti-discrimination training program, to share my experience, carefully edited, legally vetted, as a case study in how not to manage people. You handled this well, the VP of HR told me. Very professionally. I was prepared, I said. Most people wouldn't have been. I thought about those 6 weeks of careful documentation, the recordings, the screenshots, the binder, the separate bank account I'd opened just in case, the one that had given me the freedom to fight, instead of accepting the severance and disappearing quietly. Most people shouldn't have to be, I said. That's the problem, she nodded slowly. That's exactly why we want you involved in this training. They paid me a consulting fee. It was generous. A year after my firing, I was promoted to regional manager. Same position Melissa had held. Better salary. I'd earned it through sales numbers and customer retention rates, not by targeting people for their birthdays. My first day in the new role, I sent a company-wide message, looking forward to working with our diverse, experienced team. Talent doesn't have an age limit. Jasmine sent me a text. Perfect. It was. I'm 43 now. The boutique has the highest sales numbers in the company. My team ranges from 22 to 57 years old. We hire based on ability, not aesthetics. Melissa's Instagram is private now. I heard she moved to a different state, started over somewhere her reputation hadn't followed her. I hope she learned something. I doubt she did. My sister Rachel calls every few months to ask if I'm still keeping documentation of everything. Of course, I tell her. You don't need to anymore. You won. It's not about winning, I say. It's about being prepared. Because here's what I learned. People will underestimate you. They'll assume you're passive, that you'll accept mistreatment quietly, that you won't fight back, because fighting is hard and expensive and exhausting. They'll assume wrong. The phone recording of Melissa telling me I wasn't the right image is saved in 3 separate cloud accounts. So are all the others. So is every piece of documentation from that case. I'll probably never need them again, but I have them, just in case. Last week, a 28-year-old guy in corporate sent out a memo about refreshing our brand identity and energizing our customer base. He scheduled meetings with everyone over 40. I forwarded the memo to HR, legal, and the CEO. He was in mandatory training by end of business day. Some people learn from others' mistakes. Some people need to learn their own lessons. And some people just need to be stopped before they start. I'm 43, I'm thriving, and I'm not going anywhere. Melissa thought age made me vulnerable. She was right about one thing. I am at a different stage of life. I'm at the stage where I don't accept bullshit anymore. Turns out that's exactly the kind of energy we needed.